Hello and welcome. I'm Wild Chevy, joined by Rocket Yeti and James from the Amateur Hour. You guys are watching the Atomic Salt Show. How's it going, guys?
I'm doing
Goes
great.
well.
How are you doing?
So we tried to avoid the whole talking over each other, right? So I'm fine. Your turn.
Hey, Casey, how's it
I'm
going?
doing it. I am doing outstanding.
James, how are you?
I'm great.
And what have you guys done this week? First, we'll start off with Casey. What have you done this week, Case?
Not a lot of gaming. I've been doing some painting. I've got my Infinity going on. So, finished up my Myrmidons. So, here's a quick picture. It's the female Myrmidon out of the starter box. So, pretty happy with how she turned out. Finished the male Myrmidon blister pack. He's the one. Their bases look a little plain right now, but I'll have more to it later. I still need to clear coat them, so I didn't want to put any fuzzy stuff down on there because I'm not sure how that interacts with flock and that sort of thing. So that's it for me.
Let's see, what have I done? I've been painting my Chaos Army for Valhalla to defeat Sean. That's what I've been doing like nonstop. I've played my third game of 7th Ed and haven't lost yet. I've won twice and tied once, so I'm liking it so far. Better odds than 6th edition. That's what I'm
liking 7th edition.
And I'm painting right now. So I like 7th edition. I came into the sport or the game in 6th and got taught that way, and then so this is my first transition in the 7th or transition period, and I like it. A lot of people don't like it. We were just kind of talking a little bit off air. You know, as much as 40K or Warhammer is not balanced, I think this is as close as you're going to get to being balanced with an unbalanced game with dice. Those tactical mission cards, man, they really changed the whole way of doing things. So I like it. That's the way I like to play. So I haven't done much of Relic or Purge the Empire or anything else since those things have come out. Purge the Empire, Purge the Alien. What am I talking about?
Now, you're a casual player. Have you done much tournament play yet?
No, I'm building up to it, and you're supposed to help me, Alan. But
I'm getting there.
I'm getting there. I got to get the army done. But you know, 7th edition has made competitive armies not so competitive, or they say, and so forth. You know, I've got the Helldrakes, but people say they're nerfed. I don't think they're that nerfed. I just think you just got to think a little bit ahead. But I have not played any tournaments yet. What's that?
Helldrakes have a neck brace.
Yeah, they have a little cone of shame.
Well, like this week, we saw Feast of Blades announce their for their invitational. They've locked it down to 1,500 points. Bound armies. They've kind of put a little bit of a restriction on play. We'll see how that goes for other tournaments.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen a lot, but you know, everybody talks about like the warlord traits, for example, always being useless, and for the most part that's true. But
95% of the time.
Sure, and everybody
Sorry, I was gonna say they've actually improved on the warlord traits. It feels like because I don't think they're a direct port over from 6th edition, but in 6th edition you used to say, "Hey, my warlord traits." I don't give a fuck about what it is. But now you're looking, oh, okay, I might actually use this once a game. So it's an improvement, I think.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. Everybody was really worried about the bound and the unbound armies. I'm going to bring 7 Riptides. I'm going to bring 9 Riptides, or you know, all this stuff. You know, you play with those tactical missions again. The advantage of having a bound army or actually using the Force org chart. To me, it's so far, and I have not used an unbound army yet, but I've fought against people who have. And I've won every time. It's because it's about the objectives. It's not. If you're going to bring an unbound army, you better bring one to absolutely table me, to wipe me off the board, and you better do it quick because the games are much more high scoring. It's not like, oh, I can table you in turn 5. True, but if I got one guy left and I've got 15 points to your 2, I still win. And with anything scoring now, I mean, you got to obliterate me completely off the table. And that's a little bit harder than it sounds sometimes. Like I was running Typhus with 98 plague zombies. Little hard to dig those little hard to dig those guys out of cover. You know what I mean? You know, and and stuff like that. And the new cheese is starting to come out. Everybody was worried about flying monstrous creatures getting nerfed because now they have to, if they're swooping, they can't go right into assault. Well, that's true, but now they've got this new jinx thing, so you can jink right off the bat, which is a 4+ save. Well, you think about it, you do a Demon Prince of Nurgle, he has Shrouded, that adds 1. Now you're jinking at 3, and if he's an assault guy, you put him in cover. Now he's jinking at 2, and then he just runs out and assaults you anyway. You just got to figure out a way to do it.
Well, I've heard a lot of people complain about the new psychic, like the demonic, putting out like 500 points a turn.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen a couple games where people done it, but again, it hasn't really affected the game all that much. It's more of a mental kind of a thing. Yeah, you've got all these troops over there, but go back to the tournament thing. If I was hosting a tournament, I would be absolutely, you guys can use that. You can use the demonics. You can do all that kind of stuff. It's all good to go, but you better have the models for it. There's no proxying. You can't say, these 500 cultists I painted up are now pink horrors. No, you don't have the models, you don't get to summon it. So, and I think there's actually a rule that says that. I mean, you can do whatever you want, obviously, but I think there's actually somewhere somebody was saying that, yeah, GW is like, well, of course they want to sell more models, but either have it or you don't. So I've seen people summon, and it's awesome sauce, but it hasn't affected the game. You know what I mean? It hasn't done it.
It's a different kind of play.
Yeah, and everybody... People who really are 40K people, to me, they're adapters, and that's what I like. You figure out the list that you can and you can't do. You throw a cheese list at me and you do it. You just figure it out. Figure out a way to do it. That's the fun part. The only thing I don't like is that everything scores now. That one I don't kind of like, because I used to be able to at least part of the fun for me was sitting down with a pen and paper or battle scribe or whatever you wanted and go, let's figure out a list. Let's figure out like the ultimate list or the weirdest list or the fluffiest list or the cheesiest list. Now it's kind of like, I got points. I'm gonna throw this in here and I'm gonna throw that in there and oh, what the hell, this too, So.
Well, back when 6th edition first came, Sean Gate over at Blue Table Pink did a really great video where he sat down and he broke down all the different missions, and he said, here's how you win this mission. And it was all based off of scoring troops. And at that, back in 6th edition, the only thing that was scoring was troops. Mm-hmm. And so it really gave you a reason to take all your troops, because, nobody's all that impressed by 10 tactical units, or nobody's impressed by, a squad of fire warriors. Nobody's, a squad of troops is just a squad of troops, and you just kind of say, I throw them in there just to check that box and move along. But the nice thing about 6th edition, what they did, was they made you really sit down and think about those troops, and you really wanted to bring those guys. And so It was an interesting dynamic part of the game. Whereas now, maybe that dynamic has gone a little bit, which I'm kind of sad to see that go.
True. Yeah, it is. I agree, 100%. I love the troops, but one of the advantages of having a bound army versus an unbound is if you're sitting there with unbound army on an objective, even with let's say it's troops. Let's say you've got a troop choice there, and you scored that, and I come marching up and contest you. If I'm bound and you're unbound, I automatically not only contest you, but then I own that objective, and you don't. Right. And so that's huge. And a lot of people, when we were first looking at that, even the 40K amateurs, we were sitting down, and we're like, how much is that really gonna affect? But what we didn't realize was how much the tactical missions to get cards, to score points, to keep moving along in the game rely on you holding an objective. And it's not holding an objective forever. It's holding an objective just till the end of your turn. And then you can, get booted off of it. But like I said, 98, moaning plague zombies sitting on 4 objectives is it's pretty hard to get them off with that feel no pain. And a lot of the tactical missions, the more objectives you hold, obviously the more points you score, but the more you deny the other guy from getting tactical cards. There are certain missions where everybody gets the same amount, but there are some draw 1 tactical card for every objective marker you hold. Well, if I'm holding all the objective markers and I'm denying him, that's even more, pain, more spit in his eye, so to speak.
Well, that's the different style of play that we see now. A lot of other games, Malifaux, Warmachine, Infinity, they all use objectives instead of just this army, whoever last man standing wins. Puts a lot different play style in a game. It makes it a lot more fun to play other than I'm just going to take this beat stick and I win button.
Yeah, I agree. And I listen to Fritz 40K. He's on YouTube, and he's a great guy. And he used to come up where he had this thing called Turn 5 I Win, in which you would manipulate the board with the old 6th edition rules. And, you'd throw out Helldrakes, you throw out certain things, and say, yeah, eat these guys up because they're high-value points, and then Turn 5 I win. Well, what do you mean you win? Well, I've got these, like Corey was saying, these little tiny little troops that are, nobody thinks about. Well, they've just scored all the objectives, and I fed you high value things. That still works, but now it's. I mean, I think the last game I played was like 14-12, and it's a high scoring game, and so it's almost it's almost instead of turn 5 I win, it's hey end of turn 2 I'm winning, and I need to keep winning. It puts a whole different spin on it, and I really like it. So I think tournaments will pick it up, but they'll do that. I think you'll see Lords of War, escalation, fortifications, things like that, because in the tactical objectives, there's a card that says destroy an enemy gun emplacement or his building or his fortification, and you get points. So yeah, I'm gonna pound your quad gun. I'm gonna go after your bastion or your firestorm redoubt or whatever, just to get the points. It's totally random. You mix up the cards, you pull up the card, and what you get is what you get.
Yeah, could be beneficial.
Another nice thing that I was going to say, another nice thing that Feast of Blades is doing, and I'm not sure if escalation is ever going to take off, or some of Lords of War being included or not, but they've taken down to 1,500 points. For a long time, everybody's looking at 1,850, and you don't think that extra 350 points on each side of the table is going to make a difference, but it really does. So, whereas before, when you're working on the clock, you'll have 3 hours to get a game in, and then after that you've got another 3-hour game, then you've got another 3-hour game, you've got another 3-hour game, to the point where you're almost hoping that you're not getting up to the top table, so you've got to play a 5th and a 6th round. If you try and play 12 hours of any game, your brain is going to be mush by the end of it.
Sure, absolutely.
So I think by scaling it back to 1,500 points, it's 40K still runs very well. All your armies are still going to function very well. You are going to have to think a little bit more about what you're bringing and what you're not bringing, but it's going to speed up those games just a little bit more, and players are going to actually enjoy the tournaments that they're playing.
Yeah, I agree. I've played. The last game I played was 2060, I think, just for fun, because we want to try out some psychic stuff. And then the very first game I played was just over 1,000. I mean, it was like 1,200, and the score is still really high. It's really fast paced. It's really moving. You're moving around the board, and you're right. You got to think about stuff. Armor now is huge. I think armor's coming back. I've had in the 3 games I've played, I've had great success with rhinos. They still died, but not nearly as like the first shot. But I mean, great success with rhinos. And I think I personally think walkers are coming back. I think your dreadnoughts, your Hellbrutes, those guys, they went down in points. They're 100 points now. Plus you can add stuff. They're coming back. With the Chaos guys, I'm looking at. They've got that data slate which you can do formations, and so that's even helpful. There's the one where you put cultists in front of them, they get a 3-up save, and you make the cultists fearless. You can throw 3 or 4 of them, I think, and they can deep strike behind you now. But it's harder to kill them. You can glance them to death, but it's harder to kill them. I see. I think I saw a video. I think it was Fritz. He just did one that was the dev squad with las cannons is coming back. Things like that. So it's kind of changing things around, but armor is back. That Land Raider is back and that kind of stuff. And so yeah, you got to really think about it. You're only playing 1,000 points, 1,200, or like Corey was saying, 1,500. You got a Land Raider. That's a lot of points, but what are you going to do with it? Yeah, it may survive, but again, it's about those tactical objectives. It's not necessarily about having the biggest, baddest thing on the board anymore.
All right, let's move on to some more 40K stuff. We had some Orks pop up on the pre-order this week.
Orks are finally getting their due, I hear.
Yeah, it's the oddest thing. We keep seeing release week after week. We haven't seen a codex yet.
Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't change a thing.
It's probably stuck in the warp. I'm just wondering, is this going to be a wait and see, or is this going to be collectors are going to jump for the new shiny?
Probably a little bit of both.
I think what you're going to see a little bit is where you see a single figure like the Big Mek or the Orkanaut. Yeah, people are going to jump on top of that because it's a single model. But when you look at it like a box of flash kits, you say, wow, I'm going to need 2 boxes, and these boxes are probably $2 a piece. I'm going to have to spend $100 on these flash kits, and I don't know how they're going to fit in my army after the new Codex drops. I'm not sure a lot of people are actually going to go for that.
It's true.
I think GW has a big experiment going on. They're trying to see if they can sell models without selling rules.
My only concern with that is everybody does what you says and ignores the flash kits, and then all of a sudden the Codex comes out and it says no other model in the Orc army can score except for these.
That'd be horrible. Horribly funny.
I'm totally joking. Hopefully this doesn't happen.
Let's see. What are our new ones for this week for pre-order? We have the Big Mech with the Shokk Attack Gun. Pretty nice looking kit. Then we have the Mek Gunz, the Bubblechukka.
I'm not huge into. Evidently, the Bubblechukka is some epic 40k thing. I don't really know much about the background. We've seen a little bit of the rules, and I think they look great. They're nice, cheap artillery. It's going to be a toughness 7. You got a bunch of little grots that are going to be a pain in the butt to shoot. Basically, you're going to have to try and assault these things to get rid of them. But at the same time, they're orcs, so there's going to be a lot of rolling for random strength, random AP, and their ballistic skill is crap. So, yeah, they're going to be throwing a lot of templates around. It's going to look really scary. If you get lucky, yeah, they're going to hurt you. But if it's not, then you're not going to care too much. At the same time, the orc player isn't going to be spending a whole lot of points to get a nice big artillery squad.
It's true. We were talking off air. The Gorkanauts or the mechanized stuff, the new walkers that they've got there. They're miniature Titans, I guess is what you call them. They're versions of not Titans, Knights. I'm sorry, Knights. The nice thing about that is if you got a guy or a friend or maybe even you that can convert really easy and build those things, it looks like you could build one of those things from scratch from any kind of models out there and do well with them. So you may not necessarily want that kit, but that's the nice thing about Orks. Exactly, you can make things out of anything.
Yeah, we've got an orc player, and he's like, yeah, it looks pretty nice, but I'm pretty sure I can do something similar out of a leader model, much sitting around.
That would be fantastic, actually. I've seen some pretty good stuff out of plastic card. I've seen some nice drop pods and stuff. You never know.
I've seen crappy stuff done out of plastic card. I've seen amazing things done out of plastic card. That's just the wonderful thing about Orks, is you expect everything to look a little different. So, and that's one of the reasons why I think everybody's really loving the flash kits, is because they're basically just giving you like a blank with a screw load of bullet bits and saying, okay, go nuts. Make your own flash kits the way you think they should look.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Also this week, Forge World announced they're finally going to be able to do PayPal.
Take our money, please. Yes. To the internet.
Now you can take it even faster.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people are like, what's the big diff with that? But here in the States, depending on who your bank is, ordering from Forge World usually takes about an extra week just to make sure that your bank knows you're making an order. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's that protection thing.
You need to stop using local credit unions there, man, because I've never had that problem.
Big money, big bank.
I've had that problem once, and luckily it was actually them saving me money. Somebody was trying to buy a laptop with my card, and I'm like, nope. So I'm okay with it.
And then let's see. Lastly, last week was E3, and we saw a little bit of a teaser clip for the Warhammer Eternal Crusade game. This would be the MMO coming out in 2015.
I saw the trailer. It looked good. The trailer did. I don't know about the game, but the trailer looked good.
Well, they've tried a MMO before for fantasy, so we'll see how it is for 40K.
Well, one of the things I was listening to the interview, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I usually am, but it sounded like they were going to have 2 models. They were going to have the free-to-play, and they were also going to have the paid version. The free-to-play, you're only going to be able to play as an Orc boy. The idea being is you're going to have a whole lot of free-to-play members. And so you're going to be able to put together these giant Orc hordes and play against your paying members who get to be Space Marines. And you're actually going to be able to try and replicate that Horde versus Elite that we tend to see on the tabletop. And I'm giving them big props because I don't think I've ever seen anybody really do something like that before, trying to manipulate the pay model like that.
They've had a few games out there that say it's free to play, but then it's more pay to win. There's been a few controversies, but you know what? It'll be interesting. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, nothing like an Orc wave.
That's true.
Yeah. Pay to win is one thing, and that's great. I'm just saying that they have, you're taking the free-to-play model and you're allowing them to actually capitalize on that. To the point where they're saying, yes, since you are playing free, you suck, you never have as much good gear as everybody else. So let's actually take advantage of that. And what do we see? What correlates to that in the 40K universe? Oh, I know, a green tide. So, yeah, you're going to die. The guy next to you is going to die. The guy next to him is going to die. But, some poor boy, 3 or 4 ranks back is finally going to, swing the chopper that kills him.
Hey, what kills Terminators? One's kill Terminators.
One's kill Terminators, or a bunch of Orcs, apparently. I hope they do really good. I played Star Wars: The Old Republic, and one of the things I liked about that MMO for a while was the storyline. You didn't have to have everybody to go on dungeon raids. It was nice and it was still there, but you didn't have to have the Leroy Jenkins to go into the dungeon raids to do stuff. You could do it by yourself, and you didn't get ganked. And then the voice, I mean, everything was voiceover, so it wasn't just read like World of Warcraft. So I hope they kind of do something like that. But you got Elder Scrolls right now? They're kind of up on top to kick off, and who else is going to come out? I don't know. I hope they do good. I hope they come out with MMOs. Really tough to play with right now. It's a tough market to break into and hang on to.
Yeah, everybody's trying to be a WoW killer.
You're not going to kill WoW. Just be yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's the nice thing is you see. I think a lot of people thought that the way to do it was to go free to play, and then WoW went free to play, and so you really just need kind of a gimmick or a strong IP. And 40K obviously has a strong IP, although a lot of their players are tabletop players. So I think that'd be an interesting poll to see sometime with their fan bases to see how many the computer game players actually have physical models to back that up.
Didn't you tell us, Casey, that's how you got in this game?
Yeah, it was the reverse way. I came in playing the video game, hooked on the models thereafter, playing the old Dawn of War series.
I'll tell you what they'll do. They'll say GW will say, join for 1 year and get this free model, this special model for free. And they'll have
rules.
Yeah, with amazing rules, and you'll have subscriptions.
The first level 5 psyker.
The only Orc player that can score other than the Flash kids.
Well, they can always go the Skylanders route, where you put your Space Marine on a pad, and then you can play him in game.
That would be nice. We're sorry, your model is not painted, and therefore cannot be inputted into the game.
It's not WYSIWYG.
Or you can have these blister packs, where you have your character creator, and then you could say export to a physical model, and GW would just send you all the bits that you need to build your character.
That would be way cool, actually. All right, that would be way cool.
Yeah, turn them into like a hero, or they could even implement like some slight RPG variances, so you can begin to level up a character, start adding more points, giving better war gear, and
yeah, that'd be cool. As your character does well in the game, you can add those stats to your own army, so you can actually have like a new HQ guy in your Space Marine army. That would be cool. There you go. Hey,
yeah.
PW,
start him off as a sergeant.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And then die to a plasma gun.
As it overheats? Yeah.
Yeah.
Smurf.
Keep calm and respawn, gentlemen. Just respawn.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's switch a little bit of for game companies real quick. Privateer Press. This week they've done they've released their rules for the Iron Gauntlet season 2015. This is for their competitive play. It's a little bit of a change from past year, and we'll see how it plays here at the local group. Also, last week we had Lock and Load, and then one of the guys I paint for, Jay Larson, actually became world champion. So that's pretty cool.
So you're saying that the miniatures you painted were a part of a world championship team?
No, I didn't see any of my stuff on his table, but it's actually nice to know somebody, a face you recognize out there playing.
Here's the real question: was the stuff he was playing with nice to what you painted for him?
A lot better than what I kind of went studio, the stuff I painted for him, but the stuff he was fielding was nice and weathered and looked pretty amazing.
So he's cheating on you with another painter.
It's okay. I mean, hey, at least James has one of my Hellbrutes that he's going to stomp. He's going to stomp and win Sean with it.
Absolutely. First, I got to get through Rico, but yes, yeah, it's coming. In fact, where is he? He's in the box right now to go play on Tuesday, right over there, man.
Ah, see, painted models get better dice rolls.
Not mine, but maybe yours will.
Let's see. Lastly, we have a few releases from Privateer Press. We have Goreshade, the Pig Bushwackers, Ironstrike, Fea, and Zaadesh. These are some Hordes solo players, much like the Journeyman Warcasters.
Do they look as good as the Journeyman Warcasters do? Because I'm the first one to jump on Privateer Press and say that their models are just a little off, but those Journeymen look amazing.
These are some their new 3D printed sculpts. They look pretty well, especially Una. She's a Falconeer. I might have to pick that up, even though I play Hordes. Shiny Syndrome.
That's how it starts.
Must paint.
Shiny. This thing behind
How
me.
How much other stuff do you have to paint right now?
This rack behind me is 8 feet tall, and it contains most of my collection of stuff I need to paint.
Get on it, man. Get on it.
Time. It'll come soon.
Promises.
Yep. Casey, have you seen the new stuff from Infinity for Gen Con?
Not only have I seen it, but let's take a picture of what they put out on their Facebook page. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
It says, "I am an asphalt warrior. Hear my bike roar." And we've got a picture behind it of one of the new, one of the choppers that we've seen on the Coon Bikers. It's a little bit different paint scheme. We've got the gray, white, and red, which kind of evoked the Mass Effect theme. Everybody was kind of thinking, oh, maybe we're going to get like a Commander Shepard themed miniature, or maybe this is the start of the U.S. Ariadne. But then we got the silhouette of our lady biker, and if you look closely on her back, looks like she's wearing a jacket, and we're going to see some kind of emblem on it. That is the emblem from Peninsula of the assault subsection on the left. So my guess is we're going to see maybe like a bootleg miniature of her, or maybe like some kind of variant sculpt of Peninsula. Maybe she's got a mercenary profile, or she's going out on her own. So I'm just kind of impressed because Peninsula was one of the newer models and looked absolutely amazing. I mean, she was one of the models that got me into this game. So, and she's already got a great stat line to begin with. So, you'll be super stoked about this. I mean, this is got my shiny syndrome. In fact, Alan, I'm already. I'll give you some money at work here in the next 2 days for you to take to Gen Con. Because I don't even see the model, and I already want it.
See, accusing me of shiny syndrome. See, we all have it.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Just because I've got a Lord of Skulls coming, I have no idea.
Let's see, and then what are... Oh, also we got a little bit more for Operation Icestorm this week.
Yeah.
Looks like it's gonna
Nomads
be...
versus PanO.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more information on that here soon.
Yeah, I'm hitting up a couple people I know inside of Corvus Belly to see if we can't get a little bit of information on it. So I think we've been able to deduce a lot, what's going on. Corvus Belly has said they're all going to be metal miniatures. They're not going to be making a step towards plastic.
Which is nice.
Everybody says you can do things in metal you can't do in plastic. I just say look at the flash kits because they look amazing. So,
and hopefully this will be at Gen Con too. They haven't said anything yet. They did say that this will be part of the first prize at their international event in July. So hopefully we'll see some soon. I know Casey's going to go and take his Toha and win for us.
I have promised you 3 bottles of wine when I go and take the international tournament. So, get your corkscrew out.
All right. Let's look and see what else happened as a. Octung Cthulhu. They got the best RPG award at the UK Games Expo. These guys, if you're into RPG, if you're into Cthulhu mythos, it's a great rule set. And they've also hinted at Thunder. Was it Thundercats? No, not Thundercats. Thunderbirds.
Like the old marionette Thunderbirds?
Yes, I think so.
Like the Thunderbirds or Go Rescue Thunderbirds?
Yep. I believe we saw a little bit of hint of that earlier this week.
Cool.
It predates my time, so I can't get really excited about it, but I guess that's a great thing. Hooray!
Nothing like a little bit of nostalgia.
I seem to remember him. I know I'm not that old. I mean...
Yeah, I remember they're like on Saturday morning cartoons, but... yeah, okay.
Let's see. Also this week, X-Wing Wave 5 has been slated for the third quarter of this year. We will see the YT-2400 for the Rebellion and the VT-49 Decimator for the Empire.
Dum dum dum.
Yeah, I actually got to watch
Go ahead.
I actually got to watch a little bit of X-Wing this week. Some starter box play. It looks like a fun game. What were you going to say, Case?
I was going to say, I've gotten to play. I don't own any X-Wing models. I just always seem to find my way into X-Wing games. So it's actually a lot of fun to play, and some of these bigger ships are a lot of fun too. Mostly because you get to play your heroes, and we were talking a little bit. The YT-2400 is going to be Dash Rendar's ship from the Shadows of the Empire game. If you guys don't remember him, he was the '90s attempt at an edgier, cooler Han Solo, who liked to shoot stuff.
Han shot first.
That's implying that Greedo actually got a shot off. Sorry.
And then the other one is the ship that, for the life of us, none of us can remember. But it's from Force Unleashed. It was the ship that the Apprentice used, and Juno was always flying around on.
That's the name of the ship. Thanks. Or the name of the game.
Oh, Juno.
Yeah, the name of the game. Alan, you've never played X-Wing? Really?
No. This past week was actually the first time getting to play it. I've seen the demos at Gen Con. I've never actually got to actually throw dice before.
Okay, so I have a starter kit plus some, and I think that needs to be a battle report because Corey's right. It is a phenomenal game. It's easy to pick up. You get to play your heroes, and it's easy. It's the books. The rule book is really thin. It's easy to do, and the capital ships are way fun to play with. They kill everything, but yeah, it's a great game.
Do you have to make the noises as you fly through the air?
We can, and I've seen battle reports. In fact, one of the funniest ones I've ever seen is Mini Wargaming do when they did everything in the voices. Period, and it was hilarious. If you want to, we can.
Yeah,
Alan.
I remember last year at Feast of Blades we did a giant assault the Death Star. So we had like 20 X-wings on one side and like 60 TIE fighters and TIE Advanced on the other side. This was right when the Millennium Falcon had come out, so we had Han Solo pop out at the end. Darth Vader was playing. Whenever somebody got into the trench, Darth Vader started shadowing them.
Nice.
It's fun that you can do those sorts of things, but honestly, I don't think the game mechanic works really well in those big epic-sized fleets. I think because it really bogs down, and the other side just kind of sits there. Yeah, you're kind of rolling dice, but you're not very active. Honestly, it feels like 10 on 10 is where this game really shines, or even like 5 on 5, which is one of the things you gotta love about this game is the starter box gets you so far into.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I've played maybe one really big game, like you have enough for fleets, and you're right, it kind of slows down a little bit. But what I found with that is you do doubles. If you do that, you do doubles, and you just kind of move, and it kind of speeds things up a little bit. But yeah, smaller games are way better, and you can get more of them in too.
And the stuff is already painted, so
already painted.
See, Alan, you don't have to worry about painting new stuff. You can touch it up. You can make like your red squadron or your blue squadron or whatever, but they're ready to go right out of the box.
As soon as I can get a Star Destroyer, I'll be happy.
Never mind. I was going to say something. Never mind.
Let's see. Also this week, Relic Knights, for those who backed this game, it's finally starting to ship. Hopefully we'll see more of this here soon. I know as soon as I get mine, I'll do an unboxing video. And hopefully we'll be seeing some events for this soon. I know the Ninja Division guys are hoping to roll out a tournament at Gen Con. This will be the first big event for Relic Knights.
Well, it's nice that Ninja Division is actually getting their stuff out, considering that they have the Bunnies versus Zombies Kickstarter going on right now. So, because I think that's one of the biggest things that people have been complaining about a Kickstarter. It hasn't been, which is sad. They're not judging the product on the product's merits. They're judging it on the company. They're saying, Ninja Division can't deliver anything. We trusted them then. Why can't we trust them now? So, getting Relic Knights out is going to shut a lot of people up. But speaking of Bunnies versus Zombies, Alan, you pledged, right?
Not quite yet. I just got the notification that this week. It looks like an interesting game. I'd like to actually kind of get a demo, then play it, or see a demo play. It's very bright, very colorful.
It reminds me a lot of Tiny Toons, like from the 90s.
You know what? I could see that with the bunnies, yeah.
Yeah, I see Buster and Babs.
With his brain getting eaten by a zombie.
Yeah. Well, I think you said it a while ago. It is like one of the hardest Kickstarter pages to actually look at, just because of all the neon colors and the hazard stripes and the fact that I have no dignity, but even I can't look at this page. At work with my coworkers might see this, just because the art is pretty out there.
Well, it's memorable.
It's true.
That's true. Nobody's going to forget about it.
When you see this on the shelf at the store, you'll notice it.
One of the nice things about it is they've got, they've got a lot of different modes to play. it's not just a straight. And you can either do it. You can do a co-op game versus a deck AI, or you can do a co-op game versus this little bad guy, Super Dungeon Explorer. But they have games like Capture the Brain. They've got Attack and Defend. It looks like they've got kind of like a VIP hostage escort sort of thing. So hopefully that's going to get you a lot more mileage out of the game.
So it's a great game to expose your daughter to tabletop. Girls like zombies, right?
So.
James, do girls like zombies?
Do girls what?
Do girls like zombies?
They do love zombies. You know what? I could ask an expert opinion real quick if you'd like.
Go right ahead.
Emma.
That's it. I got it.
40K Emma is out cold sitting here. Emma. Hey. Nope. I'll find out for you later. Hey, they want to know. They want to know something. Come here. They want to know something. Come here. Maybe she is a zombie. Here, go ahead and ask her. Right there.
So we would like to know, do girls like zombies?
Tough question. Hang on. Yes, they do.
See, there you go, Casey. Girls like zombies.
You know what? To be fair, I just went and asked my wife Natalie, and she likes zombies.
There you go. This could be another Kickstarter for you.
I'm still not exposing my 3-year-old daughter to it.
All right.
Let's
see.
stick with X-Wing for that.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see what else has happened this week. Sorry. Lastly this week, GTC Studios, makers of Bushido, announced their Wave 18 and 19. Got some cool looking artwork and miniatures on this one. And lastly on the list...
Hold on. Have either of you guys actually ever played Bushido before I make disparaging comments about it?
I haven't.
I have the starter set, but there's nobody around to play, so I don't know how to play.
I would love to play.
And that's what I get from everybody, is this is like one of those games that's out there. Obviously, they're making money off of it because they're still producing models. So people are buying models, but I have never met a person who actually plays Bushido.
I don't think I've ever met a person that plays Warhammer Fantasy.
I'd say the same about The Hobbit.
I know somebody that plays The Hobbit, actually.
Whoa!
I do.
What do they do when what happens when Aragorn gets killed by turn 1? They just say, "Oh well, I guess we're screwed."
He brings out his 40K models and says, "Let's play this instead."
He calls it George R.R. Martin.
Yeah. You know, just speaking of that, Alan, you do know that you're in the exact same time spot as Game of Thrones right now.
It's okay. I've read the books.
Well, you've read the books, but what about the viewers?
They should read the books.
Read the books and then watch this.
Actually, I've given up on the books. I made it all the way through Feast for Crows, and I just said, you know what, screw you, George R.R. Martin. You are not going to live to finish the series. Somebody else is going to have to write it for you because, you look half dead for the last decade or so, which is about the amount of time it takes you to get one book after the other. So I think I'm actually going to start watching the show instead to see how it actually ends, because HBO is going to get tired of this crap, and they're just going to wrap up the show on their own, and that's going to be the official ending.
Huh? If this turns into a Brandon Sanderson thing, I mean, the guy lives right down the street, so...
It'll be, who's the next person to die on the last season? The author.
Oh, and scores of readers would actually come out and cheer for that as they beheaded George R. R. Martin in public.
The only way they would do that is if he wrote himself in there as the most lovable character and then got killed.
That's usually how it goes. I'm just saying, you're in the same time spot as, and tonight's the season finale too, by the way. So.
All right, then let's wrap this up so you can go watch your shows.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about all them.
Well, you see, we've got about a quarter past the hour, so that gives you enough time for your DVR to build up. You can skip commercials, then it's perfect.
I was just bringing it up.
All right, James, tell us where people can find you here on the internet.
On the interwebs is where they can find me. Oh, you mean more specifically than that?
Yeah.
You can find me on YouTube and on Facebook at 40K Amateur Hour. Myself and two other guys that know Alan, Rico, and Chad. We started a YouTube channel about 3-4 months ago, and we actually started it because of that girl right over there, Emma. I used to be sitting right here painting, and she would film me with her phone and says you should do a YouTube channel. So we kind of started doing one, and it took off. A lot of it was Alan. Alan helped out a lot. So you can find us there at 40kamateurhour.com. It's spelled wrong on purpose. You'll find it. It's a running inside joke.
Notes.
What's that?
I'll put the link in here in the show notes so people can find you.
Nice, yeah. It's an inside joke. So that's where you can find us, and thanks for inviting me.
Not a problem.
It was a pleasure.
Now, I've seen you been writing a little bit here lately, Casey.
Yeah, I write a little bit on Beast of War. I've been starting to write a little bit more on the Atomic Assault. So, you guys can reach me through there. Or Beast of War. So, go by the handle Rocket Yeti. So, it's where you can find me out and about. So, always happen to talk 40K, Infinity, and the goings on in the miniature game.
And of course, I've been Wild Chevy. This has been the Atomic Assault live show. Guys, have a good night.
You too, man.